Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VII. In the last part, a shitload of people died. And now we should probably go check out Elmyra, because if they raided Aerith's house to try and get her, we should probably check on that. But first, I want to talk to this boy. You might remember, I investigated the middle drawer of his chest over there, which had a bit of gil in it. However, if you don't take the gil and come back to him now, he'll actually give you a turbo ether, which is a 100% MP restoration, and I think that sells for a lot at this point in the game.
Wow. That's...
However...
Why would he give you a turbo ether? And he bought for 10 gil!
Yeah, I don't know how he even did that. I don't sell that, though, because I consider that, at this point in the game, part of the Too Good To Use club. And that includes selling. Hey, Elmyra. How you holding up? Yeah, we kind of failed as a bodyguard.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
How did she get here so quickly?
I mean, to be fair, from here to Sector 7, even though we never actually go through the door, if I recall, Sector 6 is just to the south. Like, you know the area where the bar is? I believe just to the south of there is where the area where the playground would be. And then it's just going through the ruins of that one sector and then going through this.
Wow, so all of that all of what happened going up the tower and fighting Reno, she was able to grab Marlene, take her south, hide her in the house, and then just like sweeps her up and then puts her in the helicopter, and then they fly all the way over there. That's a pretty short amount of time.
Well, it's one of those things where I think the term is ludonarrative dissonance, where the amount of time in the game doesn't necessarily reflect the amount of time in the story. I believe that could have been upwards of maybe even an hour in game time, probably closer to maybe 30 minutes, so it's theoretically possible she runs.
I guess we have seen her be somewhat athletic, so...
Yeah, she got ahead of Cloud somehow in that one sequence. But now we're learning Elmyra's story. She had a husband who I believe was supposed to be in the... No, not in the Wutai War. Or was he in the Wutai War? I forget. But there was this notable war with Wutai. We'll go over that later. But her husband, after being in war, just never came back when he was supposed to.
And there was never a notice about his death either, so nobody knows what happened to him.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well, but she's keeping her hopes up, and, you know, admirable. But one day this happened.
I came across a tiny child. Well, it's not a child. Rather, it's a mother and her child.
Yep, this is Aerith's mother, like, birth mother. And apparently this kind of sight was common during the war, so she asked Elmyra to take Aerith somewhere safe. And Elmyra, partially out of loneliness, partially out of pity, took her in.
Do we ever figure out what the mother's name is?
Aerith's actual mother?
Yeah.
Yes. I won't go over that until a bit, because I don't think we learned that until... Actually, we might even learn that this part or next part. And I don't know why, but I just love this sequence right here where they show time passing almost just through the screen moving. That's really nice.
That actually confused me as when I was little. It was like, how did that work?
Yeah. Like this. I love this transition. God, that's so cool. I can tell exactly how they did it, but it's just really good narratively. Because it's a pretty good representation of how memory works. Sometimes you just look at a certain direction and you kind of go back into your head.
Yeah.
But Aerith now saying that Elmyra's husband was on his way back, but something happened, and a few days later, they got the letter.
And then they get the letter. Oh, boy.
I don't think in the extended compilation we ever learn what happened to him specifically, even while he was away for so long. He just was. Because I don't think that's ever covered in, like, Before Crisis or any of that stuff. Mind you, I guess that's not really much of anything to expand. The most that could be is maybe an OVA about war. And, of course, Sung finds her and all that. Ugh.
How did he figure that out, though?
I mean, to be fair, at this point, she's probably been here for a year, maybe 2 years, so it's a good amount of time to search around Midgar. And with how much how many eyes probably Shinra has all over the place. It's probably not too hard.
Probably.
And it's one of those lines right there that I find interesting is that he says how she avoided Shinra for this long when really, especially if you played Crisis Core, you learn retroactively, admittedly, that's more of a retcon than anything, that she never really escaped Shinra. They just kind of let her be for a while.
Huh.
And Elmyra is rightfully scolding Barrett for leaving his daughter alone to just do all this shit.
Yeah. I haven't played Crisis Core, nor have I played before Crisis. Or have I seen I've seen like the Last Order and stuff, that anime thing with. But I haven't played any of the previous games. I wouldn't say previous, but like prequels. So I can't really say much about what I know about this whole sequence, because everything I know just comes from this game.
Yeah. Now, one thing I do like about Barrett, especially in that sequence, is how he basically admits, like, yeah, I know, for doing this, I'm being a bad father, but if I want to guarantee a good future for her, I have to do this. Barrett is probably one of my favorite characters in this series, just because, first off, he's a really good addition of starts off really cold, but ends up being one of the best characters. Also, date mechanics right here. I want to say, I don't know, because saying the other one gives her some amount of points. I'll get that up really quick. I forgot to have that up for right now.
Marlene is rude sometimes.
Yeah, okay, so here it is. If you say, I don't know, you get +3 Tifa, -3 Aerith, and the opposite is the opposite. -3 Tifa, +3 Aerith.
If I stayed here, I'll go crazy. I'm sure you would. Doesn't seem like your kind of environment.
Well, not only that, but it's just the kind of thing where she knows she has something to do, but if she's forced to stay here, she's not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
And Barrett's making sure Elmyra will take care of Marlene because it's off to battle with us once again. Alright, so now what? How do we get to Shinra, since there's no train that's going to be going up there anymore?
Walk around the house, I think. No. Isn't there something behind the house?
No, I think you're thinking of 9.
Maybe I am thinking of 9.
But no, what we actually have to do is come back here to the wall market. Because since the plate fell, obviously some of the surrounding plates had some damage done to them as well, namely just on the actual connection parts. But since a lot of things fell down, the owner of the weapon shop in particular seems to have some new stuff. So let's go and check that out. Also, I believe I mentioned it last part, oh no, 2 parts ago. But in between parts, I did do some farming to get Tifa's new weapon here at this shop, as well as, I think, some of the equipment. So let's talk to this guy, and he wants us to get some batteries that he repaired. And we need to pay 300 gil to get them all. And trust me, you actually need to do this. It isn't optional, so make sure you have 300 gil. Not that that's hard to get, but yeah, it's good to have it before you come here.
It's not optional, is it?
No. You don't need to use all the batteries. You only need to use 2 of them. But you want to have all 3.
Oh, I see.
But I don't think you can buy any less than 3 anyway, too. Yeah, and since this is, I guess this is supposed to be the connection wire that connected sectors 6 to 7. Since this is here, we can now climb up to the top. It's also the first time this next song plays, and I don't know why, maybe just because it's very militaristic sounding and I love that kind of sound. I love this tune.
I like this theme as well. It plays in a couple other places.
Yeah, it's not the most played song in the game by a long shot, but when it's played, it's effective.
Also, I love seeing the graffiti.
Yeah.
Really nice touch.
Makes me wonder if that was just added or if that's been there and that's why the crack is there. So, the path up here is just a mangled mess. We have some of the train tracks from, I guess, the train sequence. But we also have random plane propellers and stuff. I guess it may have been air conditioning. But yes, this is why you need the batteries, because there are 3 battery slots located throughout this entire sequence. 2 of them you need to use in order to make your path accessible.
And the third one?
Is just for an item.
That's it?
Yep.
There has to be some use for it then.
No, like the third one you use to get an item.
Oh, I see.
God, could you imagine if it was one of those things where you could use it now or use it later?
Oh,
Using it later would get you like a 6 times better item. That would be crazy.
That would be... I don't know how I would feel about that, honestly. I hate this segment. I hate this.
Yeah. I'll talk about this in a moment because I believe I go for the chest up above us first. Yeah, but essentially that wire is swinging back and forth, making a sound occasionally. You need to press the confirm button in the correct time, usually around that point where it makes the sound, to leap down and grab it. The third battery, by the way, gets you another. You could actually come from above to get that as well, but that means I'll have to go through this wire again, so I don't want to do that. So jump right about now. And that should get you across. That took me a while as a kid.
Understanding audio cues can be difficult sometimes.
Especially when you're younger and you're just not thinking about that stuff.
Naive children.
Yeah. Kids can be really smart, don't get me wrong. But especially me when I was a kid. Audio cues were just not something I realized could be a thing. And quite conveniently, that entire path leads us right to Shinra HQ. Though I suppose what it could be, the placement of Corneo's mansion in Wall Market could be basically towards the center of Sector 6 in terms of the radius of Midgar. So climbing close to that probably would bring you close to the center of the circle, I guess.
Also, nice touch that the Buster Sword is out now.
Yep. I guess in that regard, 7 is the first Final Fantasy to actually render the weapons on the characters. Occasionally, admittedly. Alright, so the Shinra HQ sequence is potentially the longest but yet most interesting portion of the Midgar sequence of 7. Because starting off even, we have 2 options. We can gun it right through the front door, or go through that path to the left to find a long staircase to bring us up to the sequence we want to get to, because we want to get to the 59th floor here. If you want more experience points as well as more items off the bat, go through the front door. If you want to avoid battles and just get some funny dialogue of them really not liking the staircase, go through the left. I'll go through the left way later down the road, but for right now, I'm just going through the front door. It's easier. In terms of completion, at least. And, of course, being Shinra HQ, we're going to be fighting a lot of Shinra grunts.
Yeah.
Starting off with the grenade combatants. Basically upgraded MPs from earlier in the game. 130 HP, 42 XP, 4 AP, 72 gil. No real weaknesses. You can steal a tranquilizer from them though if you want it, and they can drop grenades. Grenades are what they use in battle too, and they can be pretty powerful.
Man,
Actually, no, they can't.
that doesn't
Never
look
mind.
that doesn't look strong to me.
I think I'm thinking of a different explosive attack in this area, actually. They're grunts. They're not going to take too much. Don't worry about them.
It's weird because grenades actually do quite a lot of damage in the real world.
Yeah, when you use grenades, they're pretty powerful. Now, one thing we want to do, first off, these guys will run away from you no matter what, and that's just funny. We want to check out this billboard, because on the right side of it, there is our next Turtles Paradise newsletter. The end of another hard day, would you like to sit back and have a cold one? Sure! Notable, this is the only Turtles Paradise flyer that is missable. You only have 2 opportunities in the game to grab it. The first one's now, the second isn't until 30 hours in, maybe?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so make sure you grab that. Next up, we want to come up here. This is the store for the Shinra HQ. If you need items, you can come down here and get some. Avalanche ain't no pack of criminals, even though we are domestic terrorists. Whoops. Overall, not too much of interest here. Potions, Phoenix Downs, just items you might want to use in case you need them. Tents are probably the most useful. There are 2 treasure chests here, but we can't grab them until that 30-hour endpoint. But we can check this TV for a random FMV. Ah. Srekum.
I have never seen this. Wow.
It's overall just kind of pointless. It's just a cool FMV to show, ooh, car designs. Wow.
Wow, they put a lot of effort into this.
Yeah, and these are cool car designs, I have to admit, but why is this here? Although there is one admittedly lazy thing. I think it's with this car coming up right here. Text is going to show up on the right. That's just the text on the left reversed. Like mirrored.
That's lazy.
Yeah. Admittedly, though, I wouldn't be surprised if some actual ads have done that over time just to make it look like they have more going on than there actually is.
Only the truly attentive will see it.
Yeah, like, look, that's outright like a Mako piston. That's cool. They put hours of work into this for some reason, and I don't quite get why. They could have just said this all in the text box, but, oh, Mako. Yeah, that's the thing with the FMVs. You can't exactly translate the text on them without having the raw files, and that's a lot of extra render time.
Also, the acronym is SEC, which is like if you talk about college football, that's like Clemson, Alabama, and Louisiana State. Yep. Very, very interesting.
All right, so this next sequence is interesting. We're in this elevator, and of course, because it's an elevator sequence, things aren't going to go right. The number is going to start just basically flipping all over the place on the timer. No matter what, you're going to start this sequence at floor 6, and whenever you have to press the button, it'll advance 7 to 15 floors. And that's entirely random. However, each floor you end up at has a chance of either being an enemy or very rarely a Shinra employee. Every enemy is a fight. For instance, floor 15 is the next enemy, a Mighty Grunt.
And the Mighty Grunt has 230 HP, 50 XP, 5 AP, 98 gil, can steal tranquilizers from them and grenades for a 12.5% chance. Don't have any weaknesses, but they can shoot you, be careful.
Yeah.
Let's see. 3 Mighty Grunts are also fought in a set battle. They're also fought 59th floor of the Shinra building when entering the elevator to floor 60, which triggers the inescapable battles glitch for all random encounters in the same floor.
Yeah, it's a bit of a thing. They also have a notable attack called Double Shot, which I believe it'll use on the character who has the highest current HP. And after you take out half of its HP, it loses its armor, and its attacks and stats change. The defense and magic defense drops severely, but its attack speed and especially evasion increase.
Let me take a look at the stats there. Defense percent is 0. Unarmored. How about that?
Floor 26 is 2 grenade combatants. The ones you really want to run into around here are enemies called Moth Slashers. They start appearing from, I think, floor 33 onwards. You can steal a new piece of equipment from them that you really want to grab. However, this floor has the next enemy, Swords Dance. 160 HP, 39 XP, 6 AP, 90 gil. No real weaknesses. You can steal hypers from them. They can drop Loco Weeds, which are items I'll go over in a moment. The notable thing about them, they can inflict fury on you with most of their attacks, namely Slap, and they can attack twice in one turn, dependingly.
So they can just straight up convert the sadness into fury. That's nice.
Sadness into standard into fury, but yeah. Floor 47 is a Shinra employee. Fun fact, this is the first time I've seen this. I've known this is a thing, but I've never gotten it.
Really? I think I've gotten a couple of those before.
The thing is, there's only, I think, maybe 4 floors that have Shinra employees out of a total of, like, close to 45 plus. Also, if you took the stairs, you'd come out at that door on the left, I believe. And this is that 3 Mighty Grunts thing that Kenny talked about earlier. And now we got keycard 60. This is where the keycard system for this area begins. Essentially, in order to access higher floors, we need to get a keycard of that number. Since we have keycard 60, we can go to floor 60, and only floor 60. I believe an NPC in the next area will discuss this in greater detail.
Can't you get fights in this elevator? I don't quite remember.
Not that I've ever seen. Also, wow, this guy's terrible at his job. Alright, now this first sequence, the puzzle here is a bit odd, and because almost every floor has a bit of a puzzle to it. Also, local weed, 80% chance of inflicting confuse of all enemies. What we have to do here is kind of a Metal Gear Solid-esque stealth sequence. We need to run between each of the statues, taking care not to get seen by the guards, and at the halfway point and end, we need to press the circle button to guide both of our companions across one at a time. It's fairly easy pattern recognition, though you might want to sit around just to make sure you get the pattern down first. However, if you get spotted, you have to do a battle, I think, against some mighty grunts. Don't quote me on that, though.
I'm really bad at this puzzle.
Yeah, mighty grunts. So that's a bit of a thing. The second two move faster than the first two, however, the pattern is just about as simple. I'm not exactly sure how picky the hit detection is on you getting spotted here, but it can be a bit of a thing, especially with the second two. Notable, though, I believe their vision is only active when they're facing forward.
Nice touch there. Nice touch.
Yeah, I think you can also only get spotted a total of 4 times since you will have taken out all the soldiers by that point. And at that point, you don't have to sneak in. You don't lose anything for doing that. In fact, if you want experience points, that could be preferable.
It's just slower.
Yeah, it's a lot slower, because mighty grunts, especially after they lose their armor with that increased evasion, can be really annoying to hit. And floor 61 is a break room.
That is a giant tree.
Alright, so this guy kind of hints towards what's going on here. Essentially, the numbered key cards exist to basically be clearance levels. Standard employees can't go anywhere above the 60 or 61st floor. Above that, you need the key card of that number. And they work in descending order. Say you have key card level 65, you can access up to level 65 and anything below it. For instance, for talking to that guy and acting as repair people, we get key card 62, which allows us to go to 62.
And 61. Yes.
Yes. And this floor's puzzle is probably my favorite one. This is the mayor's office. And we want to talk to him because he let all that shit happen. What the hell, dude? You're the political leader. Come on. But no, the mayor's basically just a figurehead. President Shinra is the real man in charge no matter what. The mayor's basically the librarian.
Get all of my books in order, and I'll do this thing for you. It reminds me of a thing in Final Fantasy VI that I really like. Actually, no, Final Fantasy V that I really like.
Alright, so the puzzle here relates to each of the 4 wings of the library. This is the weapon development division. There are, I think, 6 books in each section. And you're looking for the one that is the odd man out in terms of the theme. For instance, History of the Space Program probably doesn't belong here. So we need to look at the number of the book, this is book 16, and count that many letters. So for instance, in this 16, that's...
A, B, C, D, E, F,
1,
P.
2, 4, 5, 6, 7... No, on the title here. For instance, modern... 1, 2... I think that's
D.
M?
I said 1, 2... Oh, characters, does that include spaces?
I forget. Either way, it's
oh yeah, it would be M. I was counting spaces.
And for each of these wings, we need to do that. We need to find the odd man out and count the letters of it. Those 4 letters can be formed into a word, and that word is the password. The potential come-outs here are... actually, what is it? I'm trying to remember. I know 2 of the passwords are never used. I think those are Orbs and Hojo. Generally, I can tell based off just the first 2 what the password's going to be. And the president's, the deputy mayor, the guy outside the office, can give you hints for increasing amounts of gil, but that's just not necessary.
Yeah. Gil is not too bad to come by once you leave Midgar, I think.
Yeah. Essentially, the 4 books you really want to look for, if they're out of place, are 2 Economic Report Space Dev Program, 1 Results of Failed Space Mission YA-79, 1 breakdown of soldier members by class, and 10 new plans for urban planning. If you can find one of those books in particular, you'll know which password you're looking for. If that's the first one I mentioned, the password is best. If it's the second one, it's king. Third one, it's bomb. 10, the fourth one, it's Mako.
Huh.
And for getting the password right the first time, you get a bonus reward to what it is anyway, because you can theoretically just talk to him and guess the password every single time. In this case, my password is bomb. For getting it right the first time, we get the elemental materia along with the key card. If you get it on the second try, you get an elixir, on the third another, the fourth a potion, and if you get it on the fifth onwards, there is no extra reward. The elemental materia, what that does is a bit interesting. It acts kind of as an addition materia, so straight up support materia. If you link it to an element of, like, say, lightning materia or fire materia, it makes whatever those are linked on that element. Say you link those two on your weapon is now considered fire elemental. If you do it on your armor, you'll resist fire damage.
Is there a way to absorb it or negate it? Or is that...
That's later levels of the elemental materia.
I see, okay. So it's not dependable on the level of the magic materia, it's the level of elemental.
Yes. And in this sequence, we have another minor puzzle. This is entirely optional. And you can only open 3 doors, and you need to open the correct ones to get all the items. There's going to be another item here that spawns at that 30 hours in time, so we need to come back here eventually. But overall, this is just for quick items, nothing really notable. Though walking around here in the vents is kind of picky. Especially when it comes to turning up here at this middle section. We do want to get all 3 items we can get out of this. They tell you not to go in the vents, but it doesn't actually check for that. It's basically just saying, hey, don't do that, because then you'd be a dick. I want to be a dick. And that's all 3 doors open. There is, I believe, a way to get any of the 3 individual items just by opening 3 doors, but we want to get all of them. Plus, there's even a convenient way to get back to the entrance.
Let's just go to the right.
Yep. And for doing this, each individual coupon we get gives us a different item. The first one, the A coupon, gives us a star pendant, which I believe prevents poison. The second one gives us the 4 slots, which is 4 unlinked materia slots. Armor, I believe. Yeah, 4 unlinked. And the third one gives us another all materia, which obviously I want as many of those as I can get.
All materia is great.
Floor 64. Okay, this is another break room of sorts. However, there is some things we want to do here. First off, there's an inn if you need one there on the left. We want to, first off, investigate... I guess I could investigate this. This is, I think, overall pointless. It's just kind of cool that you can do it. It would be kind of cool if you could get actually some experience points out of this.
Kind of like how in Super Paper Mario, if you run on the hamster wheel for a while, you can grind up to the 1 million rubies, but...
Yeah, you don't ever want to do that, though, because that's... Has anyone ever actually measured how long that would take?
Well, what you'd have to do is run on the wheel and get exactly 1 bulb of energy, and then take the million and divide by how many rubies you receive.
Yeah.
So...
But yeah, we want to check the vending machine here, and if you give it your money, it won't spit it out. You need to bang on it, and that sets us up for something to do way later in the game. We also want to check the locker room here, because there's a couple items we can get here in these lockers. Each locker is individual, though, and I always have trouble remembering which ones they're in, aside from one particular item on the 3rd row. Get a phoenix down. Another. And there is... for some reason, a megaphone here. Eh, that's useless. Wink. But yeah, this floor is just here to be kind of a break. Now we can head up to floor 65.
Please don't tell me that's the ultimate weapon.
Hey, you'll see.
God dang it. So the next enemy on our list is a Hammer Blaster. 210 HP, 43 XP, 5 AP, 80 gil, weak to lightning, because it's a machine. You can steal echo screens from it, and you can also get loco weeds as a drop.
It can also, if the battle goes on long enough, temporarily leave the battlefield by entering its little hatch, and you can't target it at that point. So it's just kind of an annoyance. Just like this floor entirely, actually. The entire thing with this floor is that we have a model of Midgar here in the center. And as you can see, barring Sector 7 being destroyed there on the left, there are parts missing across the circle. We can find those parts in these chests around the area. However, out of all the chests, only one is ever openable at a time, and it's always in the set sequence. I believe it's the one on the far left, one of the ones on the bottom left, so on and so forth. It takes a while to learn the pattern, but if you know it, it's there. However, if you're new to the game, going from room to room trying to figure out the correct chest can be tedious, to say the least.
Also, targeting the correct, targeting the broken pieces is really weird to me.
Yeah.
I don't like those hurt boxes.
Thankfully, H Midgar part doesn't have a specific section it belongs to. You can place any Midgar part in any section. And it'll unlock the same chest in the same order every time. I guess this is here just so you can have some extra encounters in the area, because not every floor has battles on it. While you're outside in this room, as you saw earlier, there are battles, though. And it's not like this is optional, too. You need to do this.
Can you visit every sector of Midgar?
No. But after that battle, Barrett finally got his second level limit break, Mind Blow, which is potentially one of my least favorite limit breaks in the game. It's a rare one in that it actually, it's technically gravity elemental, but it targets the enemy's MP, so you can absorb MP from them. Actually, I forget if you absorb it or you just outright damage.
I think you just outright damage it.
Not too useful, even though damaging MP is pretty viable later on. Mind Blow just is not too useful in terms of the damage it'll do. But now we got keycard 66. Wow, this floor is populated.
Whoa.
And there's some important people going on there. I see Heidegger, and I think I see Reeve in there, too. No, it's an executive meeting. Great. Yeah, there's even President Shinra there at the top. But thankfully, there's a way to keep in on that.
Why can't you flush the toilet?
I don't know. But yeah, we can climb up into the vents.
What kind of person flushes a toilet that has nothing in it?
Yeah, you gotta make sure. What if there's an evil alien and they're trying to eat your ass?
Ah.
I don't mean that in the sexual way, I just mean literally take a bite out of you.
Alrighty then. I'll take that in stride. 10 billion gil.
God damn.
That is a lot.
And they're not even gonna rebuild it.
That's 10,000 all materials, dude.
Yeah.
Master all materials.
Mako rate's 50%. Oh god, rate ice. But yeah, this is the entire Shinra group. We got
also,
presidents, we got Reeve, Heidegger.
I love seeing Palmer so active.
And Palmer, he's in charge of the space development program, even though they don't talk about it right now, but essentially the space program's been halted for quite some time, and Palmer's just really itching for some money, man. Come on. He also got Scarlet. I forget, what does Scarlet lead?
I thought she led the weapons program. I could be wrong.
I think she's, I think she does lead weapons program. I think Heidegger's technically in charge of the military. And this is Hojo, science department.
Hojo.
And that's where we hear it for the first time. He mentioned Ifalna. That is Aerith's mother, I believe, since he refers to her as the Ancient's mother. Now, I think we brought up the additions graphically that the PC version adds with the mouths. This sequence is outright silly with them because Hojo constantly is going like, oh.
Hojo as a character is really quite something. Whoa.
Yeah.
Spazzing out, except that's a laugh.
Yeah, they're planning to do something to Aerith, so we should probably get her out of here. It's not us. Who said that? No one? Okay.
Oh god. I don't understand Hojo at all. What a fool.
Yeah, Hojo is a bit of a thing. We'll talk more about his character as the plot continues, but he is interesting to say the least.
Demented. Demented man.
Oh god, what if our foot fell in the toilet right then?
Oh. How
Clouds.
did he not fall in the toilet? He literally had, like, all of the control in the world, whereas other people would totally lose their balance.
Cloud's walking around with a wet shoe for the rest of the Shinra sequence.
Oh.
Wet sock. No!
Wet toilet sock, actually. That's even worse.
Maybe it's a good thing I flushed the toilet.
Oh. Well, I mean, the water would just rise back up, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh.
Anyway, with that, I'm going to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 6, we'll be continuing on through the Shinra sequence and seeing exactly where Hojo's heading up there. See you guys then.
Bye.